Welcome to the first Eurogoals of 2005. We're back with a bang after the brief winter break. An explosive Lisbon derby first up. It was the meeting of the big two in Madrid as well. Real coming out on top as leaders Barca were well beaten at Villarreal. 2 match days last week from Italy to tell you about. Both Milan clubs amongst the goals, but it's still Juve out in front. And there was a cracking weekend of cup action in France too. All the news as most of Ligue 1's big guns made it through. Not all though.
Well, a terrific atmosphere here at the José Alvalade Stadium, as always, for the passion that is the Lisbon derby. Well, you can pretty much throw a blanket over the leading clubs in Portugal at the moment, as Portugal limbers up for the most open title race for many a year. Extra spice then has been added to this all-Lisbon encounter as the visitors Benfica look to overhaul their great rivals. Top scorer Liedson, certainly one to watch here for Sporting, Portugal's leading scorer with 12 goals this season. Newcastle fans will be keen to take an interest in the performance as well of midfielder Hugo Viana, who proved an expensive flop on Tyneside. And Benfica will be aware of Rockenbach's threat from midfield. He was a scorer in Sporting's 3-1 win at Benfica last season. Benfica, meanwhile, will be relying on the probing and pace of Shimao and the experienced Nuno Gomes in attack to unsettle Sporting. The 1-0 win they picked up here last season will certainly give them confidence ahead of this one. Giovanni with the goal that day, and he starts again here for Benfica, who get us underway in the red shirts, of course. Porto, Boavista and Braga will be keeping an eye on this one, where a draw would probably be seen by the other contenders as the perfect outcome. Incredibly, it's 10 years since Portugal's most famous and successful club, Benfica, have lifted the title. And what rankles more is the fact that Sporting have been champions twice during that period, the last of them for the men in green and white in 2002. Throw into no man's land, really, though. Cleared away by Alcides. Just down in the centre from Rockenbach. Pretty hectic, as you'd expect, in the opening seconds here. Hugo Viana chasing that one down, but it came off Bruno Aguiar. Benfica have been runners-up to Porto in the last 2 seasons. Looking to go one better this season, though. Cross whipped into the penalty area. Benfica struggling there just for a second. Jose Peseiro, the Sporting coach, watches on. Such a vital game, this one. The two sides level on points. And it's Rockenbach to take the corner. Goes short this time. Hugo Viana's cross into the centre and the header away. Still it's not clear. The flick on as well and just past the post. Worrying moments there for Benfica as Beto got forward. They were caught by Sporting's quick corner. And an intelligent head on from Beto, not far away. Rui Jorge with the throw. Touched back to him by Douala. Good cross in from Jorge again. Firm header away. Only as far as Carlos Martins. And Martins fires that one over the top. It's a bright start, though, by the home side. Benfica haven't really got going yet. Rui Jorge doing really well to get behind them, but the finish from Martins in the end disappointing. Pereira's throw. Flick on from Nuno Gomes. Picked off though by Carlos Martins. Now Beto. Again, it's Sporting doing all the pressing. It's been a job in containing for Benfica in the opening 20 minutes or so here. Spread wide again, the cross into the centre, the header! And that's the lead for Sporting Lisbon. And you have to say it's been coming. Liedson, Portugal's leading goal scorer, nodding in his 13th goal of the season. Disappointment for Giovanni Trapattoni, but he knows that Benfica really haven't got going at all here. Fine header from the diminutive Brazilian. Wonderful work by Fabio Rockenbach, and the header from Liedson, very much made in Brazil, that goal, wasn't it? Great delivery from the former Barcelona man, and absolutely no chance at all for the Benfica goalkeeper. Right into the top corner. Well, maybe that goal will spark some life into Benfica. Been really pensive here. Sporting that have taken the game to the opposition. Well, this is promising now, though, for Benfica. A great opportunity, and that's an equaliser from Nuno Gomes. Well, Sporting will be absolutely furious with themselves. They had the lead for a little over 4 minutes. And Nuno Gomes, the Portuguese international, was afforded the freedom of the Jose Alvalade Stadium. And he made absolutely no mistake whatsoever, did he? First goal of the season for Nuno Gomes. But just look how square the Sporting defence was. Forlorn appeals for offside, but absolutely no mistake from Nuno Gomes, and that's 1-1. Throw to Sporting then. This is Martins. Desperate to get themselves back in front, having worked so hard to get the lead and then thrown it away. Chance here though. Terrific stop by the keeper. Still it's not clear, and Liedson miscontrolling. Well, it's the second time that Martins has troubled Benfica from distance. His first effort was over the top, but this one was well saved. And Liedson should have done much better on the loose ball. Still Sporting press. Well, Benfica must be relieved to be level. Just a little under 9 minutes left in the first half. They have been outplayed by Sporting, but the one time they got clear, they got themselves a goal, and now this could be a problem here for Rui Jorge, and it is a problem. It's a red card. And the two times that Benfica have got in behind the Sporting defence, there's been bedlam. Nuno Gomes with the equaliser, and this time a clear tug. Giovanni, the man, pulled down by Rui Jorge, and Sporting now found themselves down to 10 men. Well, Jorge pleads his innocence and has a go at Giovanni, but he was the last man, and suddenly the derby has taken a mighty swing in favour of Benfica. We're fortunate to be level at 1-1. Now there are men up as well. Ricardo needs to be on his guard here. It's fired in, but well wide of the goal. Well, they know about the danger of Giovanni. His goal gave Sporting victory, a Benfica victory rather, against Sporting here last season. Wasn't far away then. Well, having been commanding and a goal in front, Sporting will now be happy to get to half-time. But they're on the attack here. Well blocked. There's a Sporting man still down in the middle of the park as Giovanni can break for Benfica. Nuno Gomes in the centre, it's played in and it's over the top. Simão getting in a fine position. And just how on earth did he manage to put that one over the top? The goal was gaping only Riccardo to beat. And Trapattoni can't believe they're not ahead there. Well, Pereira has plenty to say and do at half-time, doesn't he? 1-1. Neat football again from Sporting. Martins just checking his run to avoid being offside. Alcides, though, doing enough to put it out for the throw. Here's Liedson. Now Ruggiero. Still Ruggiero. Oh, swinging cross in, chance here! And Liedson unable to take it. Not sure it would have counted anyway. Great cross in from Ruggiero. With the flag up against the Brazilian. The 10 men of Sporting are doing really well here. You can see from that, though, Liedson clearly offside. Really wouldn't know the way the game's gone in the second half that Benfica had a one-man advantage. This is Fisas. Simão with the turn. Oh, lovely ball as well from Simão. Great chance, Giovanni! Won't count. Almost a touch of deja vu there for Sporting as Giovanni found himself clear. Tell you what, it's very, very tight. The ball cut out before Simão could get there. Rather waited for it, didn't he, Simão? This is Ruggiero again. Oh, the free kick's given. And Liedson, too much to say to the referee and talks his way into the book as well. What a cauldron it is here inside the Alvalade. Half an hour to go of the Lisbon derby. Two sides level in the league at the moment. Level here at 1-1. Such a pivotal game for both of their championship aspirations. And Liedson not happy at all with the challenge of Manuel Fernandes on Ruggiero. Crazy booking, though, from the Brazilian. Absolutely no need to talk his way into the book like that. More defending for Benfica then. Four-man wall being set up. There's four in there for Sporting. Oh, it's curled in. Punched away really well. Liedson making a desperate lunge for it. And fine free kick from Hugo Viana. Neat play again by Sporting. Again, Benfica being pressed back. This is Liedson. Oh, now as Liedson tugged down there. Alcides it was. And it's a second red card. And now Benfica find themselves down to 10 men as well. And, well, that's really put a spanner in the works of Giovanni Trapattoni. Carlitos was about to come on for Benfica, but now we have a rethink. Alcides sent off. And suddenly, it swings back into Sporting's favour again. Tug on the shirt of Liedson. Certainly made the most of it, didn't he, the Brazilian? But the decision is red card. Well, there's a faintest brush, isn't there? You have to say that's an extremely harsh red card for Alcides. It's 10 aside nonetheless. Sporting with the opportunity. Played it straight into the wall, though. Rather disappointing free kick. Hugo Viana. And you consider how much dominance Sporting had, even a man down. You'd have to fancy them now. Touch off by Rockenbach. Well, good run and the cross in. Petit should clear. Well, they're messing about with it here, though, Benfica. Another chance to deliver. Here's Martins. Great opportunity. Liedson! Sporting back in front. And the little Brazilian sneaking in on the far post, finishing off the somewhat mishit shot of Martins. 14th goal of the season for Sporting. And Benfica find themselves behind again. Well, how he's milking the moment, Lee Edson. He was beginning to get frustrated, wasn't he? Talked himself into the referee's book. But Benfica were masters of their own downfall, really. They never got the ball away. And then Martin's shot drilled in. And the predatory instincts of Lee Edson putting Sporting back in front. Sporting then pressing to finally seal it here. A minute for Benfica to get back into it if they are going to, but in all honesty, never really looked likely, have they? It's a surprise that they're only 2-1 behind, really. Oh, the long-range effort. Bit of an audacious attempt. And stopped on the line. Worth a try, though, wasn't it, from Anderson Polga? But it's been a disappointing performance, you have to say, for Giovanni Trapattoni's team. Sporting clearly the better side. And again, they're trying to pass their way through. Benfica have a free kick, though. And maybe one last opportunity now to get something from the game as you look at that Anderson Polga effort again. Just for a second, they thought that they had a third goal, Sporting. Long one punted into the area again. Chip back in by Nuno Gomes. Plenty of bodies up here for Benfica. The referee spotted something. It's a free kick to Sporting as we enter a 5th minute of stoppage time. Trapattoni knows his team are slipping behind Sporting now. Such a tight race that every defeat proves so vital. Offside the decision. And it's the Sporting fans who are in great voice. And well, they might be. The final whistle goes and Sporting reap revenge for Benfica's 1-0 victory here last season. 2 goals from Lee Edson separating the sides. Nuno Gomes got one back for Benfica, but in the main, Giovanni Trapattoni knows that his team were outplayed here by the superior Sporting Lisbon. Even a man down, Sporting were the dominant side, and they've beaten Benfica here by 2-1.
So Sporting go top. It's the two Porto clubs, 2nd and 3rd in the Superliga now. They're level on points. It's Boa Vista who have the slightly inferior goal difference, though, despite beating Guimarães at the weekend. Sey Manel both winning and converting the penalty to put them into the lead in the 27th minute. Guimarães had won their previous 2 away matches, and the newfound confidence on their travels returned 11 minutes into the second half. Even Djurjevic with the free kick. In it went from Alex. 1-1 then, and the visitors were holding out for a point. They were just seconds away from getting it as well when Boa Vista snatched the win here. If ever there was a time for a young striker to try and make a name for himself, this was it. And Diogo Valente duly obliged. The 20-year-old following in Lucas's deflected shot for his very first goal in the Portuguese top flight. What a way to begin the new year for Valente and for his team, Boa Vista as well. Final score, 2-1. Porto sit in 2nd place, even though all is clearly not well with their form at home. 2 1-0 defeats just before Christmas were tempered by a win over Moreirense. But the jitters return with a visit of Rio Ave, for whom Gaucho scored from Paulo Cesar's cross after half an hour. Stunned silence at the Dragão. Porto did manage an equaliser 18 minutes from time when Half-time substitute Hugo Leal created the opening for Luis Fabiano's third goal of the season. He took it well from an acute angle. And with Derlei off to Dynamo Moscow, they'll be relying on Fabiano to stay free of injury and provide more of the same from here on in. 2 points dropped here for Porto, 1-1. A remarkable 4-goal flush in the second half continued Braga's push for a European place, and it all came after they'd given struggling Beira-Mar a head start too, quite literally. The scorer here was one of two British players on the Beira-Mar books, the former QPR and Oldham midfielder Paul Murray. Beira-Mar, though, hadn't won in 6 home games stretching back to September, and they were destined for disappointment again here. The tide turning with Wender's 66-minute equaliser. That goal didn't so much dent the confidence of Beira-Mar as drive them to a nervous breakdown. Within 2 minutes they were behind when Cesina's twice attempted cross from the left was eventually turned in by João Alves for 2-1. It got even worse 4 minutes after that when Braga grabbed a third. Route 1 is sometimes the most effective way. Wender's header, Cesina in for his first goal for the club. And Braga still weren't finished. Another long kick from the goalkeeper Paulo Santos had the home defence panicking again. Wender it was who nipped in to set up João Tomás. And Braga's 4th goal in 9 minutes wrapped up a convincing away win. Braga slide up to 4th, making the top 5 in the table, but very congested indeed. Elsewhere, good win for Moreirense. An own goal there, lifting them off the bottom of the table to be replaced by Académica. Good away wins for Gil Vicente and Nacional. So that's how the top of the Superliga looks. Very tight indeed. 3 points separating 1st and 5th. And Académica, Beira-Mar and Moreirense occupy the relegation places at this stage. Plenty more to come on Eurogoals. Highlights of the big Madrid derby. Also, who said Serie A was boring? Goals galore from Italy. Also coming up after the break.
Well, it was a bizarre start for Wanderlei Luxemburgo as his first match in charge at the Bernabeu lasted just 7 minutes. That was the time that was left to play in the game that was abandoned due to a bomb scare before Christmas. But it's all that Real needed to get 2005 off to a winning start. Ronaldo here breaking into the penalty area and winning the penalty just 2 minutes from the end. Not too many Sociedad fans had made the journey, but there was plenty there supporting the Galacticos. And it was left to Zinedine Zidane. No mistake from the Frenchman. Real taking 3 vital points then. The win cutting Barcelona's lead over Real from 13 points to 10, and a winning start for Luxemburgo. Well, racist chanting again tainted a major match in the Spanish capital as Roberto Carlos was targeted by Atletico's fans as the Spanish league kicked off again in earnest. But it was Roberto Carlos who was involved in the opening goal on 14 minutes. His cross missed by Zidane, but his Brazilian teammate Ronaldo gave Real the lead. 9th goal of the season for the Brazilian. Don't often see that, do you? An air shot from Zinedine Zidane. Ronaldo finishing. Atletico were guilty of missing countless chances as they took the game to Real, but they were made to pay as former Atletico midfielder Santiago Solari expertly finished 9 minutes from time. How Fernando Torres, the highly rated Atletico youngster, must have been regretting missing 2 glorious chances earlier on in the game, including an open goal. Solari, though, showing Torres how to do it with a calm finish. 3 minutes later, the Atletico defence completely collapsed as Ronaldo took his tally for the season into double figures. Zidane setting him up this time. A 2nd win in a row then, including that 2-1 win over Sociedad. Couldn't be a better start, could it, for incoming coach Wanderlei Luxemburger. Well, with Real winning the derby, Barcelona had to win this tricky encounter at Villarreal to maintain their 10-point lead. But it was Villarreal, unbeaten since late November, who took the lead. Uruguayan Diego Forlan's 7th goal of the season. Neat play, wasn't it, between Forlan and Riquelme. Great finish as well. Well, the expected second half onslaught from Barca wasn't allowed to materialise as 3 minutes in, Gonzalo Rodriguez got the last touch to Juan Ramon Riquelme's free kick. Doesn't get too many, Rodriguez. And that faint touch giving him his first of the season. And Barca suddenly in real trouble. Well, Barca's best chance of launching a comeback came just after the hour mark when Samuel Eto'o felt that he was fouled by the goalkeeper, Jose Reina. The referee, though, Carlos Carvalho, only awarded a corner, much to the disgust of the Cameroonian international. Good run from Ronaldinho, who was fairly quiet in the main in this encounter. You can see why Eto'o was upset. The league leaders, though, were struggling to make an impression in the game, and 5 minutes from time, Diego Forlan would add a third. Good work from Javi Venter. And it took a couple of attempts from Forlan. But he made Barcelona pay. 3-0. The win lifts Villarreal into the top 8. Well, the Madrid derby wasn't the only local scuffle this weekend, as Valencia and Levante met for the first time in 40 years at the Mestalla Stadium. A disappointing first half was goalless, but 10 minutes into the second half, the champions took the lead. Fine approach play from Rufete, setting up the Spanish international Ruben Baraja. The first derby goal then for 4 decades in Valencia. Credit has to go to Rufete. Stood the cross up wonderfully, didn't he? And it was a simple task in the end for Baraja. 5 minutes later, though, the floodgates threatened to open as Valencia added a controversial second goal. Did it go in or didn't it? Levante keeper Juan Mora thought he kept it out, but Meester's header was adjudged to have crossed the line. Much to the disgust of the Levante players and coaching staff, Mora absolutely furious. May see it better from this angle. Difficult to tell, but it looked as though Mora had kept it out, didn't it? Have to feel for Levante there. Levante, who had taken just 2 points from their previous 7 games, halved the deficit 17 minutes from the end. Sub Edwin Congo getting the final touch to Felix Etienne's cross. And Valencia, though, would hang on for the win, despite the late flurry from Levante. It's now 6 wins from 7 for Ranieri's side. La Liga's surprise package Espanyol kept their Champions League qualification hopes alive with a stunning display against 7th placed Osasuna. Espanyol had to come from behind, though, as the visitors went ahead 16 minutes in. What a cracker from Pierre Weibo, netting his 2nd of the season. The goal, in fairness, coming against the run of play. But a bizarre mix-up in the Osasuna defence from De La Peña's throw allowed the Argentinian Maxi Rodriguez to score the equaliser, chasing it down first. The goal from Rodriguez would be the start of an extraordinary spell as the game was completely turned on its head. Terrible head back. And Rodriguez equalising. 5 minutes later, De La Peña was again the provider. His corner headed in by Fredson. Two goals in 5 minutes then. Quite a celebration as well, wasn't it, from Fredson? First goal of the season for him. And he was fully intent on enjoying the moment. Powerful header, wasn't it? Well, Espanyol then scored their third goal in 8 minutes. This time it was De La Peña scoring himself, having been involved setting up the previous two. Wonderful free kick. 3-1 for Espanyol. And there was no way back for Osasuna after that, and their 7th defeat of the season was cemented when Temudo set up Fredson, would you believe, for his 2nd of the game and 2nd of the season. Quite a game, wasn't it, for Fredson, and a rare opportunity to show us his dancing ability as well. Espanyol then 4-1 winners and back up to 4th. 6th place Real Betis will consider themselves unlucky not to take something from this game after twice hitting the woodwork, but Savio's goal would prove to be enough to dent the visitors' Champions League hopes and give Real Zaragoza all 3 points. Terrific strike from Savio. And Zaragoza would win their 2nd straight game. Disappointment note for Betis. Well, it's been a quite dreadful season so far for Deportivo La Coruña, and their current winless streak was stretched to 6 by second to bottom Mallorca. Mallorca came into this game on the back of 3 straight defeats before the Christmas break, and their brittle confidence was knocked again as Alberto Luque combined with Diego Tristan to give Deportivo the lead. The goal coming 4 minutes into the second half. The first half had been a pretty tight affair. The second half entirely different. Nice touch from Diego Tristan, wasn't it, to set up Luque. Really well-worked goal from Deportivo. Deportivo's lead, though, lasted just 7 minutes. Top scorer Luis Garcia finding the net from Akubu's cross. 5th goal of the season from Luis Garcia. Absolutely terrific header. Pinpoint cross from Akubu. And Mallorca level. The goals continue to fly in, though, as Deportivo regain the lead just 6 minutes later. Alberto Luque scoring his 2nd of the game after Gasparcic was unable to hold it. It looked as though finally Deportivo were getting their act together. Lodged in mid-table in La Liga this season. Great work from Pedro Muniz, who was unlucky to have his first effort saved, but then Luque followed in. But as with the first goal, Deportivo's lead lasted just minutes. This time only 2 before Campaño set up Yoshito Akubo for Mallorca's 2nd equaliser. 2-2 then the final score. An end to the run of defeats then for Hector Cooper, but they remain firmly in the relegation zone. Confirmation then of all the results in Spain. Barcelona beaten by Villarreal. Real winning the derby, and Valencia victorious in their local affair as well. Real then closing the gap on Barcelona to just 7 points now. Espanyol back into the Champions League places, while Sevilla and Betis are both in UEFA Cup places. Down at the bottom, Numancia rooted to the foot of the table despite that draw with Bilbao. Mallorca and Malaga still in trouble. Well, Lazio took advantage of the Christmas break by replacing coach Mimo Cazzo with former Siena boss Giuseppe Papadopoulou, and it was quite a baptism for him. The build-up to the derby had seen Paolo Di Canio and Francesco Zotti trading insults in the press, and it was Di Canio who did his talking on the field with the opening goal. Roma would get level, though. Panucci setting up Antonio Cassano, his 3rd goal in 2 games. Lazio responded, though, the Brazilian Cesar, giving them the lead again, 2-1. He's been linked with a move away from the Olympico in the January transfer window. Tommaso Rocchi scored the third for Lazio to give them their first win over Roma in 10 games. A European Player of the Year. Wasn't long before Milan took the lead, 23 minutes to be precise. Hernan Crespo finishing off Kaká's cross. And on loan, Crespo was regaining his goal-scoring form and confidence. He scored the second on 35 minutes. Again, Kaká involved. Wasn't long before it was 3-0. Andrei Shevchenko celebrating his Ballon d'Or with the third. And Crespo completing his hat-trick. Shevchenko setting him up for 4-0. And the Bulgarian put away the free kick himself. 10th goal of the season for the 18-year-old. Well, Lecce pulled another one back not long after. Marco Cassetti finishing off at the far post. The substitute Jean Dahl Thomason, again set up by Shevchenko, who showed he's far more than just a goal scorer. 5-2 for Milan. Well, Serie A leaders Juventus took on Parma, having been in somewhat stuttering form before the Christmas break. Camoranesi hitting the bar, and Juventus taking advantage of a terrible mistake from Paulo Montero, and at the second attempt snatched a point. Well, after their poor start, Sampdoria are now pressing for a Champions League spot, and this win against third-place Udinese added some weight to their cause. Francesco Flacchi put them ahead with his 5th goal in 5 games. And defender Marcello Castellini was the unlikely scorer of the second, as Samp made it 13 points from 15. Roberto Mancini still believes that his unbeaten Inter side can reel in Juventus at the top of the table. But it was a disastrous start for them against Livorno, as Adriano missed his second penalty in succession. Inter did get in front though. The goal coming in from Marco Materazzi. Christian Vieri netted the second. Juve's lead then down to 2 points after they were held by Parma. Big win for Sampdoria over third-place Udinese. Atalanta's first win of the season coming courtesy of Igor Budan.
Swiftly on to day 18 from Italy last Sunday then, and for Juve it was all about restoring order and normality, i.e. winning after that draw at Parma, and a win is what they did achieve here comfortably as well against Livorno. 2 goals in the first 25 minutes provided the ideal start. The first courtesy of a header from Alessandro Del Piero. The second a well-worked effort which saw Nedved, Camoranesi and Zebina involved. The Frenchman's cross was met by Ibrahimovic's effort off the woodwork. In came Camoranesi on the follow-up. Livorno at least gave the hosts something to think about though, and completely out of the blue they got a goal from former Portuguese international defender Vidigal, flying in to head home Doga's cross on the stroke of half-time. But Juve, as expected, shut the game down after the break and edged further ahead with a quarter of an hour remaining. Beautiful flick in the build-up from substitute Zalieta, ending with a finish from Ibrahimovic. The Swedes may be a mightily infuriating player at times, but with this, his 9th goal of the season, he remains out there as Juve's top scorer. There's no doubt that he's done exactly what he was bought for. Still, Livorno came back, and question marks over Juve's defence were raised again as Melara was able to beat Buffon from close range for 3-2. But a 4th home goal put the result beyond doubt a minute from time. Livorno goalkeeper Amelia hauled down Tacchinardi, and Camoranesi converted the penalty for his second goal. With Milan only managing a 0-0 draw at Palermo, this was a good weekend for Juve. The advantage at the top restored to 4 points. That was also the first time Juve had scored 4 goals at home in the league in a year. If it's entertainment you want in Serie A, it simply has to be Inter. Into a season already littered with stories of points won from behind and lost from ahead. Another remarkable chapter was written on Sunday. Sampdoria, the unwitting victims, not that they knew it, they were 2 up with 7 minutes to go. First came from Teneto. The second from the substitute from Belarus, Kutuzov. They were all flocking out of the exit gates Little did they know they would miss the most remarkable 3 minutes of the season. Substitute Obafemi Martins came on and pulled one back. 88 minutes gone. A minute into stoppage time. Martins didn't give it up. Back across for Vieri. 2-2. Surely that would be it. But no. A full 4 minutes into stoppage time. In came the cross. Stankovic touched it. Recobar hit it. And that, unbelievably, was 3-2 into still haven't lost under Roberto Mancini. Confirmation of the results. A terrific away win for Lazio. The change of coach has meant a change in mood, and Parma winning at Siena. Inter in fourth then are the only club anywhere in the world yet to be beaten this season. The run stretches back to last May. 29 games. Juve have a 4-point advantage at the top. Atalanta seemingly doomed at the bottom. Plenty more to come, including news of shocks and Ligue 1 eliminations from the French Cup. On a thrilling weekend of cup action in France, Marseille fell victim to the biggest shock of the round when they were upset by second division Angers at the Velodrome. Cracking fight back this by the visitors after they fell behind as early as the 11th minute. Here it was Pedretti's corner glance by Steve Marley. But the final touch came off Angers defender Christophe Dussard. Marseille under new coach Philippe Troussier already out of the League Cup, so we're really looking for a good domestic cup run. Still though, despite the change in management, all is not well, it seems, in the south. It stayed at 1-0 until just short of the hour when Angers, 17th, remember, in Ligue 2, battling relegation and without a win since October, found 3 goals from absolutely nowhere. And what a sweet moment for Dussard there. The defender cancelling out his own goal with one at the right end for 1-1. Marseille still reeling from the equaliser. Suffered further 2 minutes later. Jocelyn Gourvenec, a Marseille player in the dim and distant past, with that terrific free kick. Well, Marseille may have felt that it couldn't get any worse, but it certainly could. 63 minutes gone at this point. Sigon with the dribble around Cheyrou, and then Terreau in the centre, tucking it home for 3-1. 3 goals in 6 minutes for Angers. And the minnows here were not to be denied, even though Marseille did pull one back 17 minutes from time. Again, it came from a set piece. Pedretti once more with a delivery. Poor defending. Dehu nodded it over the line, but Marseille couldn't find another goal. And the 10-time cup winners are out. Indeed, having already been knocked out of the League Cup, if the 10-point deficit to Lyon is not reined in and European football not secured by the league route, this would have been another depressing season of underachievement for France's biggest club. So Marseille, the most prolific side in French Cup history, out. Surely the second most successful side, Saint-Etienne, could be relied upon to see off minnows from a lower league. But their capitulation at third division Nîmes was even more tragic, would you believe? You're allowed to get beaten by the little clubs, but not if you go 2 up, surely. 2 deliveries from David Helbwick, 2 headers from Frédéric Piquillon. And Saint-Etienne had a 2-goal lead inside the first 8 minutes. Piquillon scoring twice then against the club that launched his career 5 years ago. How, though, his former employers would have the last laugh. Nîmes pulled one back, 32 minutes gone. The goal by Julien Benhamou. Breaking away on the right-hand side. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? Who cares? Nîmes are pushing hard for promotion from the Ligue Nationale. They really dug in here and weren't content with just getting one back before the break. Just seconds before the interval, the equaliser arrived. The corner from the right-hand side. The header from Stéphane Bayrak. Really was a good old-fashioned pulsating cup tie, this. Surely the home supporters could never envisaged it would have got any better than that. A remarkable fight back already, clawing back the 2-goal deficit, but it would get even more dramatic deep into the second half. Saint-Étienne were holding on by this point. Chabas away on the right, the cross, and what a finish from Matthias Verschaff. One of the most memorable fightbacks in the recent history of the French Cup was complete. And little Nîmes had dumped out Saint-Étienne with 6 cup victories. They are the second most successful side behind Marseille. But like the Velodrome club, thoroughly embarrassed by a side from the lower leagues. Like at the Velodrome, this finished 3-2. Sedan have had a couple of lean years since being relegated from the top flight. They're nicely poised to win promotion back up to it, and they could be on the cusp of a cup run. They became the 3rd side to knock out Liga opposition. Comfortable as well in the end. Penalty scored by Stéphane Noro for 1-0 in the 24th minute. 15 minutes after the break, a second was added by Cédric Sabat. Strasbourg did get one back. Pascal Johansson, 67 minutes gone. The second division side were not to be denied. Laurent Gagné, terrific goal to round off the win 20 minutes from the end. Well, you really can't get two sides further apart in the French footballing pyramid than Longueur of the 7th division. And reigning champions Paris Saint-Germain. Took only 4 minutes for the deadlock to be broken by PSG. The only surprise was the identity of the scorer, the reserve Portuguese midfielder Felipe Teixeira. 22 minutes gone, 2-0, Pauleta. 29 minutes gone, 3-0, Pauleta again. Couple of giant killings then. Not here though. This was thoroughly professional from PSG, even though they did concede. Briand there, 57 minutes gone, bringing joy to Longueur. Tiny side from Brittany. Teixeira had a good game here and would set up Ronaldo on the hour mark. 71 minutes gone, 5-1. Daniel Yeboah, remember him? Had a terrific start for PSG after signing from Strasbourg. His first goal in nearly a year. Ronaldo got the 6th. Well, for the first time in nigh on 20 years, just the 3 sides from Liga A found themselves knocked out. No such worries for Lyon and Monaco against lower league opposition. Calais, remember their terrific run to the final 5 years ago. They were knocked out by Auxerre. And Lyon against Lille will be one of the pick of the ties in the next round. Well, it was FA Cup 3rd round weekend in England. No big surprises to speak of. Scunthorpe were ahead at Chelsea, likewise Stoke at Arsenal, but the London sides came through to win. Everton winning at Plymouth, a win for Glenn Hoddle. New Wolves coach, Newcastle, avoided the banana skin at Yeading. Oldham did well, beating Manchester City.
Well, as always, an opportunity now to win some prizes. You can vote by SMS or the internet for your favourite goal from a selection of 3. Well, the last winner of 2004 was Mika Väyrynen of Heerenveen for that goal against NEC. Of course, we can see from all the different angles now the finish. The most impressive part of this goal was the exceptional control here. Look at the height he had to bring the ball down from. And a great strike as well. Well, next we see the goalkeeper's view, Centena. And you can see he had a clear sight of it all the way. Wasn't unsighted by any means. Again, another example of the great control of Väyrynen. But it's the shot with the outside of the boot that takes it away from the goalkeeper. You do have to wonder, though, why he was left unmarked on the edge of the area, but a great finish nonetheless.